My name is Dunnit, I do builds and stuff. Today's video is a Strand Hunter build. It covers you for medium to long range and close range. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the pulse rifle. This pulse rifle is absolutely insane. I absolutely love it. I literally log in to play with this pulse rifle every day. The all or nothing. A couple of rules on there like Sword Logic or Desperado. Desperado goes really hard. Obviously we've got the accelerated assault on there. We'll also be featuring the Fortune's Favour to give that weapon a 20% damage increase, and it holds up in GMs, guys, really good. And then we're also going to be featuring a few swords with Surrounded that are Strand, and these slap at this GM, really good. We've got all sorts going on, Overshield, Woven Mail, Weakening, really good, solid pulse rifle that absolutely shreds. So I'm going to obviously show you some of that footage working in the GM, so stay with me, I'll break the video down. We'll start off with the all or nothing. Like I said, I'll log on to Destiny to play with this pulse rifle. I love it. It's a dynamic heat weapon. Loads of different rules on there. Accelerated assault is the first one we're going to take a look at. Dealing sustained damage with this weapon. Loads a bit more ammo, and it gives you about a 5 or 6% damage increase. So that's pretty nice on its own. So you're going to see there 41, and then it's going to go up to 44. That's the accelerated assault perk working. So okay, little buff now to shout home about. But if we add in the Fortune's Favour, this will give us a Void Overshield, and it gives blaster weapons a 20% damage increase. Everything else is 15%, but because all or nothing is a blaster weapon or heat, you're going to get the full 20%. So you're going to add just a 20% damage increase on there, flat out, which is nice, and you're going to see that damage increase go up as well when you've got that accelerated coil, so you're getting a nice 20% damage increase. Couple of rules, like I said, Desperado, I really like this one. It fires like an absolute machine gun. It's incredible. You can go Sword Logic as well, which increases damage even further. Like I said, I really like Desperado. I just love reloading and just spamming my shots, and it's quite laser-like as well. Very straight shooting. A tiny bit of recoil, but it sort of shoots nice and straight. So the 20% damage increase, you'll also now see that I've also got a Strand weapon boost times 2. As well, so you can get an extra 17% on top of everything else you've seen. But Desperado, with a couple of weapon surges and Fortune's Favour, feels incredible. Ensnaring Slam is the first aspect. Activating your air move will suspend, and you also get a Woven Mail now with this that got buffed a couple of months back, and we're also running Whirling Maelstrom. We all know how this works. Destroy a Tangle, and it will just do a riving mass of strand fibres that unravel and do extra damage for you. So when you use your Ensnaring Slam or any sort of suspended or strand debuff targets, you're going to create these Whirling Maelstroms which you can just shoot, which are just going to whiz around and do a bit of extra damage for you. Really, really nice. You've got orbs left, right, and centre for your surges. Fortune's Favour's buffing out your all or nothing as well. All works really nice together. And because Fortune's Favour does give us a Void Overshield for this season, we've got the Singularity Blade. While you have a Void Elemental buff, i.e. your Overshield, your melee and sword hits are going to weaken targets, so you're going to get an extra 15% damage from your melee attacks. So if you can imagine, you've got all that damage we've just talked about from your all or nothing. You're going to weaken everything as well, which will work for your weapons. Obviously, your abilities and your Whirling Maelstrom all getting that bit of extra weakening. And the Strand Hunter melee can actually tag multiple enemies at a time. So it just feels really nice getting extra damage on your Whirling Maelstrom. And it actually works with your super as well. Because the Silk Strike, it is a melee. So as long as you got that Void Overshield, you will weaken as well. And the Silk Strike super already hits pretty hard. A bit of weakening on top of that. Can't be sneered at. Armor set bonuses, I've gone for 2-piece Sage because I am running a sword. I'll show you that working in a moment real quickly. And I'm also running 2-piece Bushido just to get a bit of extra healing. You don't need any more damage resistance with this build because you're going to have Woven Mail on the fly. But the 2-piece Sage Protector is where it's at because you're going to be able to use your Ensnaring Slam. As long as you keep getting sword hits, you're going to get loads of class ability back and you can just keep spamming it. Pretty much infinite Woven Mail, as long as you run the 2-piece Sage and keep getting hits with your sword. So you're covered for mid to long range with your pulse, covered for short range with swords, which we'll go into in a moment. I just want to show you how good this is in the GM. These are minus 50 enemies, primary ammo weapon. So basically we've got a Void Overshield there, so we're applying the weakening from a Singularity Blade. got a Desperado going. Don't forget you can always run Sword Logic as well. And once you've sort of got it all going together, it really, really does start slapping. Like, even when you don't have the weakening on, it still feels really, really nice. And because you're throwing that melee, you're also going to be able to keep creating them whirling maelstroms as well, which you could just throw or shoot for a bit of extra damage. Some more footage of the All or Nothing. Again, I am running Desperado, so you could actually run Sword Logic. I know I've said that once or twice before, but you've got your Woven Mail, you've got your Super as well, which is really good. You're incredibly tanky inside that Super. A bit of extra weakening, very good for ad clearance, very good for survivability. You can keep suspending things while you're in that Super as well, so it's actually really good, not just for damage, but just for like slowing the player down. Just having your ensnaring slam pretty much all of the time, if you keep running your swords, is really helpful as well. You can literally just render enemies completely useless for about 4 to 6 seconds, like a big tanky wyverns. Weapons, I like to run the All or Nothing. You've got Eriana's Vow with a sword. You've got Heirloom, which I'm in love with at the moment. Loads of different weapons. Icebreaker if you wanted to, something like that. Now, with regards to swords, a Strand Sword with Surrounded is incredibly good because you're going to get that 20% plus your Strand Sages from your Fortune's Favour as well. 86, things like that. But once you've got your Void Overshield, you've got your Woven Mail on top of there, you could do a bit of damage. Even Elemental Herning Swords, things like that, or Aggregate Charge, possibly. Just going to feel really good. And once you've got that Surrounded going, you start really pumping out some damage, and you are really tanky, and you're applying weakening for your teammates and yourself as well. So it's a really good build all round, really good for this week's GM. We'll quickly flash over my Fragments, Thread of Wisdom, so we're going to get loads of Orbs of Power for our Sages, etc. We've got Thread of Generation, dealing damage generates good energy for your grapple. You've got Thread of Continuity, Suspend, Unravel and Sever effects applied to have increased duration. We use all of them. We've got Thread of Transmutation, while we've got Woven Mail, Weapon Final Blows, Create a Tangle for our Whirling Maelstrom. For my particular gear setup, I would have liked some more super energy, maybe 100 super or something like that. That would be absolutely optimal. But I wanted to focus on weapons, start a little bit more, leave my mods out playing as well. I'll obviously leave a dim link. But I found this build very, very useful for this week's Grandmaster, Vanguard Alert, whatever you want to call it now, the Exodus Crash. The modifiers changed, there's Screebs in there and all sorts, and Chill Touch at the moment. But you're pretty decently tanky and able to put out plenty of damage. Really, really strong Surrounded Swords, whilst you've got that Fortune's Favour. Because Surrounded, I think, on swords, like a 42% damage increase. You're going to get another 20% on top of that with your Fortune's Favour, whilst being nice and tanky. Plus Sages, so you can actually put out a lot of damage. I'll just leave this little clip out here. We'll manage to get this clear. I met a couple of chaps on Fireteam Finder who hadn't done a GM for many, many years. They were just coming back to the game. So I had to try out a little bit on that one. They didn't have optimal builds and things like that. They was pretty much using up all the reses. Nothing against them. They were just coming back to the game. I told them to check my channel out to get some good builds and stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.